priest wears during the mass. Like they wear like this special stuff because it's actually white, so they have to be pure before God during the service. After that, they have like the black. This is what they actually wear all the time. They actually have to
You see
like
them outside, they
Yeah, yeah,
introduce them.
right,
Like,
right.
They leave
that's
their
their
jobs.
uniform. Like, that's what they wear all the time when they go out.
they actually leave their jobs and actually consecrate their life.
But only the bishop wears that.
No.
And the
regular-
deacons too.
The priest.
Oh, the priest.
Our priest,
Oh,
who
okay.
actually is assigned to the church.
Oh,
Like we have 4 priests as a church. That's their uniform.
Oh,
The
okay.
regular priests.
And it's
When they pray on Sunday or any mass, they wear white. That's the regular
Daily.
uniform, everyday uniform.
and it's actually black because they're kind of like dead to the world, and they actually are consecrated to live and serve God.
How,
That's why it's
how long is a mass? How long is a mass?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Every Sunday, 3 hours?
Yes, we have 3 masses. We have one early in the morning. What is that? 8 to, I'm sorry, 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
And then the other one followed like 9 to 11:30. And then there is one English for the youth and the smaller church going in the same time. So it's like from 9 to 12.
Okay, and what language is it?
English. The
English?
one in
Oh,
the
but what,
other-
what language is it?
Oh, Arabic. Mix
Arabic.
Arabic and English, and
Okay.
there's some English strictly. Like we switch between, like if the first mass is English this week and the second is Arabic, then the following week will be the first one will be Arabic and the
Oh,
second
okay.
will be English,
Gotcha.
and that rotate that way.
And they actually use the Coptic language. It's in both English and Arabic. It's like the language the Coptic Church actually like maintained throughout the age. It's basically a dead language, but the Coptic Church actually kept it in, like kept it alive.
Okay.
Going for the communion, you have to cover your
I'm Catholic. This is, so it's, there's differences.
Yeah,
What are
there
the,
are very minor,
Very minor?
differences. Because you know, like this church was actually established by Saint Mark, like 57 AD. So it was like apostolic sacramental church, which is basically what the Catholic Church is. It's apostolic sacramental. So very minor.
It's a very minor
Very
difference.
minor, but mostly like cultural.
okay.
Right,
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah. Well, that is the time that you
Yeah,
spend
3
also.
hours.
But you, so the priest can get married?
Yes.
Okay, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's one of the different. Yeah, that's true.
because
I mean, like, it's actually from the Bible. Like, if you look like at Aaron, when in the story of Moses and Aaron was actually allowed to get married, and he was like the priest, and like his children became priests after him. And stuff. But we don't believe like inherited priesthood. Like the priest's son doesn't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be a priest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be like if you're worthy to be a priest, the congregation actually votes on who's like worthy to be a priest,
Okay.
and then they put like his name on the altar, and then they, actually if like kind of like God reveals, like just shows like a very minor sign, like if this person is actually suitable to be a priest or not.
And the congregation decides this?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
it's like when we nominate the Pope. Our Pope just passed away, and we had
Oh, okay.
the new Pope.
Oh, you
That
have
was
a
the
Pope
same
too?
thing.
Yeah.
That was the same thing. It was like the choice of God. It was like a blind. What is it? You can explain it.
Yeah,
to
they
me. How we
blindfolded
choose
the young
that.
child.
It's going to be
So,
awkward.
yeah, so they blindfolded the young. So when they're choosing the last pope, there's a certain part where the congregation kind of meets, the synod meets with the collection of all the bishops, and they choose like a certain number, and the congregation they had like a vote with the priests of every church, and the people would send delegates from every church, and they had a vote, and they summed it down to 3 people, and then after that they put their names in a container, and they have a young child blindfolded pick one of the 3 names, and that becomes our.
Okay. Oh.
And it's always the best choice.
Yeah.
It's
It
like
works.
God's hand.
It's like God hands.
Yeah, you leave a little room for
That
God
is
to
how-
work in the process. You know? I mean,
That is-
God works through the whole process, even from
Right.
and constantly during that period, they would do certain fasts and liturgies just to keep the spirit of prayer alive. And,
Oh, how wonderful.
it was a big event, yeah. Because our previous pope had been there for a long time, 40 years. So we had a lot of people grew up and never.
Actually witnessing. Yeah.
I never expected to hear this from I didn't know much of anything about the Catholics.
Me neither.
So now you know.
Now I know.
Well,
This
the
is
gentleman is doing a special project in Rutgers
Oh, yeah?
about different
Yeah.
ethics, so he probably will need your help,
Can you-
guys.
Yes, of course. If you have any
Yeah,
questions,
thanks very much.
if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I'm Catholic,
Yes,
so what are the main differences? I know that he said a priest can get married.
that's one of the differences. There's a handful. So, in terms of central belief that Christ is God, that's like the Trinity, Christology is very similar. Okay, minor difference in the creed. So in our creed, we say procession of the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. The Catholics have a part in their creed where it says procession of the Holy Spirit from the Father and the Son. So that's one difference. Another difference is in terms of baptism, sprinkling versus immersing. But the differences are not as much as the similarities. Another difference, communion, that we partake of the body and the blood. I think the blood, for them, you can choose not to. We baptize and they receive confirmation at a young age. In the Catholic Church, they do the confirmation at an older age. Salvation for non-believers is another Catholic belief, and we believe in order to be saved, you should be baptized. I believe there's a Catholic belief that says salvation for non-believers. I don't know too much about it, so I can't tell you exactly what that belief is, but
Yeah.
our personal belief is that in order to be saved, you should be baptized according to Christ's words. Unless you're baptized in water and spirit, you cannot be saved. So that's another difference. But again, the similarities are more than the differences. The original split that happened between the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox churches, there was a council in Chalcedon in the year 451. And that council, if you read back to it, there was a difference in Christology. But then more recently, when our churches had met, they discussed the Christology and they agreed that the Christology that we believe in, basic Christology, is saying Christ is divine and man. He's both God and man, and in one unity, he's God and man. There was a difference in, basically, it was a debate, but they were both arguing the same things from both different sides. So it became a misunderstanding, and there was a split in the church at that point, but our actual belief was similar. It was just wording was different, and wording played a role in that split. And there was also a little bit of politics behind it, obviously.
Yeah.
These emotions kind of got in the way, and there was that split in 451. But actually, the reason why we split is actually not a major difference. We actually agree on that point. It's through the years things have kind of diverged a little bit, and it's built up so that there is a certain amount of differences between our churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh, I
I hope
never.
I answered that.
Yeah.
And obviously look it up because, I mean, I'm not a theologian.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
gonna look at it.
everything.
I'm gonna look it up.
Please look it up because
Yeah.
check everything I said and make sure it's okay.
All right. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. It's a beautiful church.
Yes.
This mass is
So
3
you-
hours long.
The mass is 3 hours, yeah.
That's-
It's a
that's a big-
3-hour